Well, greetings again. This is Dr. Bill Wyatt with the American Orthodontic Society, with our headquarters in Grapevine, Texas. And I'm going to show bonding these blocks in adults, and they can be used in children, young children, middle-sized, children and old people. As long as you live, you can do up and down with the teeth. You can fill spaces in there. You can bring them back. You can carry these forward and hold one side and bring them back. You can do any movement that I know of. Nobody's shown me a movement that I couldn't figure out a way to do it with a straightwise system. And we have come up with that over about 60 years. I've been doing this, and it's hard. I have lectured on it for years, and there's very few people get in there and get after it and have learned to do these things. So this is what I feel like people eventually are going to get to, where this is going to be the way orthodontics will be done. And I hope that schools will look at this and don't look at me, since I didn't even go through orthodontic school. I picked it up from different people that helped teach me this, and get a bit here, there, and yonder, and listen to good lecturers, and come in and put this together in my own way and mind. Let's get started now, and I'll get this going. Now this is an adult. I don't know how old he is, but he's 40-something, maybe 50. I don't know. I may have his age on here. And he had a closed bite. There's a whole bunch of problems. So his bite is closed up like this. And he's missing a whole bunch of teeth in the back of the mouth, and the man comes in. We took anything that was walking and breathing and worked on them, and figured out ways to where you could straighten the teeth up like this. And this was back in 1990. I've got that on there. And let's get in here and see what we do. All right, he's missing these. This one back here, we need to straighten it up, fill this gap up, and we're going to pull these heads. These teeth are going to go down, these will go up. They carry their bone with them when they do that. They don't bury these teeth up in the bone, and those there, if you move them slowly, the bone goes with the teeth, and you can move a whole group at one time. You don't push one at a time. You just do the whole thing. And we're going to straighten this thing out. You can watch it as we go through. Nothing on this side of the mouth. These teeth were dropping down, and this is the crown he's got on that tooth right there. All right, here's this crown tooth, and the other thing up above, he's got two bicuspids, the cuspids, these four teeth, cuspid, two bis, two molars back in here, and then he's got the teeth on the bottom are gone. Now watch how this works out. Now, he had a crown here, but this is kind of turned, It's, I don't know that we got that straightened out. Now, here's a person that comes into you, can you fix my teeth? Well, they would be going to people, they leave this alone and put a bridge across here and one over here, and if there was something good back there, they'd put an implant in, everything like that. We just fixed the teeth back here where he had a little partial with the teeth on it here, and the tooth in this gap here in that space. We opened this gap up and straightened that tooth out. He came in like that with a partial. He was wearing one. So they've got a tooth in here. This is kind of the guy, the head of it, that did this partial did not have the foggy idea that you could intrude the anterior part of the teeth in here. But we just took the whole case and started it over again, and we used this partial for a while with blocks to open that up. Now, when you looked at the model from the back side, you could take a picture in here. The bite was closed. These teeth are way up here, and these teeth had kind of started to come down a little bit, but the teeth hadn't been out all that long. Look at this tooth, like here. We'll straighten that tooth up, line it up in there, and then fill that gap in with a partial after we have opened these. In other words, these will go down, these will go up, and then as we open this up, these move together some, and we did not increase the vertical height of the face of the guy. And you can watch this happen. Now, this cuspid was in a class 2 relation. All these teeth were further forward. These were back where they ought to be out here. This red dot, this cuspid, ought to be going down in this groove right there. So as we go down with this, now when his bite was closed, they had to fit together like that. Now as we get them down here, this can come forward and this can go back, and these teeth will move over, and this whole thing will line up out here in the front. And you look at this. If he went to a guy, and what he did, he put a partial over here, left this alone. He did not have the foggy idea how to open the bite. And that's a shame. And the orthodontics in the past has not even tried to train the general dentist or the people that are doing restorative dentistry. They have not tried to do that, to bring things forward and close the gaps and stuff like that. Now here we had nothing to fill in, so we just have to do a partial. But we're going to take these teeth up, these teeth down, and you think that'll mess this up? It won't bother it at all. And we're going to line this up and level it out, straighten this tooth up down in here. So here we go. Now now, see, this bottom needs to come out. This tooth ought to be coming down on that point. Now, here it is on the x-ray. You see this tooth leaning like that. We'll straighten that thing up and bring it down. We're going to go up here, down here, level this out, and move it up, and these teeth will come together when we get that out. But I had to do something. You got to put a block in the front part of the mouth now and hold this apart and let this come together. You can move it together that way. Now watch it happen. Now I'm showing this as an adult deal in with the children's stuff because it's all the same thing. You can do this on children, you can do it on any age, as long as people are living. Well, his age is 49 and 2 months. So he's virtually 50 years old when we did this. Now, we put a block out here in the front part of the mouth. We put a deal kind of spreading this out, and this is a tooth that was a bridge, a crown there he's got, and we're leveling this out right here, and there's a big gap in between here on both sides of his mouth. But when we got this open, we could bring the lower jaw forward and bring the upper jaw back a little bit, and we'll put them together in the place where they ought to be. And we use little single brackets in here. That gives us a better bracket space, and we're going to rotate the teeth with this. We put a little block in there that'll push that back and this back, line those teeth up, and you watch it go down. All right, we're going to have him wear that This is going to come together back here, together over here. This will move up, this will move down, and this thing will level out on its own. That's nature doing that part of it. In other words, you choose his forces out here. That's moving these teeth up and these teeth down. And these have touched nothing, so they'll come to go together as they do that. We use a little step down arch here, bringing that back to straighten this tooth out there. And you look at this and you think, well, I can't do that, but you can do that. I used an intruding arch here. You see, this arch went up like that. Pulled it down here. It's picking this up. Down here, we put the blocks on it. It's shoving that down, so we didn't have to put anything at this point in there. Now, this is a block in the front part of the mouth. This is just plain acrylic now. I've got 2 or 3 videos showing you how to make this. You don't use these really hard bonding material. You use just a regular acrylic, and you could go in and grind that down. You can see the tooth through it when you get close to it. You don't grind on it. Now, we used his partial. We put the pads on top of that, and he wore it. And when we got it finished, he had a new one made. And this is the bonded block in the front part of the mouth. And that makes these teeth go up, and these go down, these come up, these go down back here. And look at it, it's leveling out now. When we started, these teeth were way up in this part of the mouth. This cuspid tooth now is right in the place where it's supposed to be. We got it down. In other words, you couldn't get it down when it's like this. This way and down. This comes together in the correct position. And people are not, they don't seem to know how to do this. I didn't go to the orthodontic school. I learned it and realized what can be done, and has just started doing it, and it worked out like that. I went to hear many people that have some good thing going and learned it from that. And I've been doing this now for over 60 years and have lectured on it for years, but I was only touching to a few people, and they would just hear you once. And so I'm putting these videos out now that'll show every movement you can do with teeth. And we've got over 900 videos now, nearly. We're going to try to get 1,000 videos out there showing everything you can do with teeth, and we'll call it Straightwise, and it's out there for you to see. Anywhere in the world, if you on the internet, you can get this done. Now here we go. Now we can open it up. We're leveling it out. You got these in the right position now. See, that's a class 1 relation. We've got these blocks in here where we're closing. These teeth are coming together now. We put a temporary deal up above to get this in line. We're using it bites here. We put a bite plate on it, and that'll allow us to move these teeth so that we can move them and straighten them out while this is happening. All right, down on the bottom we had that old partial he had, and we got the blocks on that partial. All right, here we are. Here's the upper teeth come down here, the lower teeth come up in here. This is where we started, and this is 11/13/90. His age is, he's just almost 50 years old. And people have been told that you can't move your teeth. Why they did that, I have no foggy idea why they did that. And people are kind of like the little elephant. They could put a chain on him he can't break when he's little, and then from then on out, they can just put the chain on it and hook it on a little old place, and the grown elephant thinks he can't break it, and so he lives the rest of his life with a chain there holding him in place where they. Now the African elephants don't do this. These are Indian elephants. Now look, these teeth will come together. These are going to go up and these are going to go down, and these will come back together again. We're going to straighten that tooth out. Now we've got that old partial in here. This was in a Panorex. This was together, and we're working. We fill that in, and we're going to have to level this out where this tooth is, this clasp is off of that tooth. Now here, this is going to move here. Now this was deep, like I showed you a while ago. I'm showing it to you 2 or 3 times. Now we get pretty close finishing the guy. Look at this now. You wouldn't think about, now this is simple. People could do that, but I got it in this position, doing these things I showed you how to do in there, and this is going all over the world, and this was done several years ago. Thank God for this internet now, and we could reach people everywhere in the country. At one time we had videos were being seen in about 116 different countries. Now that's the way that was when we started, and there it is now. That's the way it was when we started. Now there he is now. And that has happened. These came together, these separated, and we brought the whole thing together in the facial height. He wore this thing down here with a bite plate when we took the blocks off. Now that's the way it looks now when he wore that. So we finished this all out and straightened that tooth up on the back side. And he had a new partial made, and that's the last picture I've got of this guy. We made a new, I didn't make it, I sent him to a restorative guy. And this is why I'm saying restorative dentistry, the people that are in that ought to come in and learn a little orthodontics, and they can add it together with restorative dentistry, or you can add it together with any kind of dentistry. If you knew the orthodontics, or the orthodontist trying to teach everybody that does dentistry how to do these things, they don't know how to do it at all, and they don't even want to teach it, the ones we have here. And I just want the people in the United States to be leaders in this area, but it's hard to get people across. They think they know how to do it, and they think they know that this bone doesn't work. It doesn't move. The bone moves on anybody as long as they live. And you can straighten teeth into their 90s. I never started anybody that's 90 years old, but I could have if they really had good bone and could do it. You could do it. We had his partial remade, and we had it coming in where that was kind of a retainer for the bottom part of the arch. And here the young man is, 50 years old. I think it took us a couple of years or so to do this, but he's got a good mouth to chew the teeth. We had to replace it with a different type of partial. So you can do this. Thank you for watching now, and I'm going to sign out, and we'll get another deal up here. Let me see.